Om Shruti Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Gukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunayama Devaha Bhadram Pashimakshabiryachatraha Sthirairangai Sushtuvam Sasthanubihi Veshema Devahitam Yatayu Swasti na Indro Vrittashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishyavedaha Swasti nastakshu Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dathatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are looking into the Upanishad, which is very profound and also which talks about the reality of Omkara. This Upanishad is being taught by our traditional teachers along with the Gaudapada kārikā or Māṇḍūkya kārikā. The 12 verses of this Upanishad is extended or explained by a traditional teacher who is called Gaudapada Acharya with a profound treatise called kārikā. Based on these verses of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad, he created a treatise. And we are in the 6th verse of this kārikā. Remember, kārikā is not taught after studying the 11th verses. In our tradition, these verses will be fixed along with the matching verses. Suppose kārikā have an explanation of certain verses. Which verse is explained along with that verses will be fixed. And after that verse, the kārikā will continue for a length of time and it will stop. And again, it will study another verse of the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad and the kārikā will continue for a length of time. Those verses which are connected with that respective verses. So that whenever I'm teaching the kārikā, I will inform you this is kārikā verse. When the Upanishad verse comes into picture, then I will inform you Now we are studying Upanishad verse. So now we are studying the verse of Gaudapada kārikā, which is connected with the fifth verse, and this is the sixth verse of kārikā. I hope you got it, what I told. If not, once more I will explain you. Gaudapada kārikā will not be studied after completing the Upanishad. In between itself, those verses connected with the Upanishad verse will be fixed along with them, so that even though there are 11 verses, after the fifth verse we are studying some Gaudapada kārikā verses. Then we will go to the sixth verse and we will go to the seventh verse of Upanishad. There, wherever there is connected kārikā sections, we will study. That's all. Nothing to worry about that. It's not a big thing, even if you don't understand. Just go along with me. Come along with me. Now, the last class explained, we saw that the witness will be untouched by the experiences occurring in all these three states. This was the conclusion. Definitely in our empirical life, in our daily life, a person who is witnessing an event will not affected by the things what are occurred in that event. Witness will be always untouched by any event. This we know that. Similarly, that logic is being told, or that logic is taken to explain the reality of a human being or any other species. We don't say any other beings because they are not having the faculty, to study under a traditional teacher. A dog will not study under a traditional teacher, even though it is God. An elephant will not study under a traditional teacher because it doesn't have that faculty or doesn't have that capacity in the creation. So a human being who go through all these experiences in different states. What are they? Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. In the waking state, our body deal with different types of people. We deal with bank, we deal with vegetables, we deal with our colleagues, we deal with our job. But the witness, who is the consciousness, who is witnessing the I consciousness, there is a spark of I inside. From that I only we will think, I am a man, I am a woman. That I consciousness is being witnessed by somebody. That witness will not be touched by any events occurring in our waking state. Marriage happened to the body. Power and responsibility got for the body. I got few kids for my body. But all these events are not going to give any effect for the witness, who is inside and outside the body. That witness is in reality I am. For that understanding only, that verse already we saw that Trisudhamesu yat bhojyam bhokta yascha prakirtitah Veda etat ubayam yastu sa bunjanaha na lipyate. The conclusion is the witness will be always untouched by the experiences which are occurring in these three states. So I can be free. In spite of all my issues in my household life, I will not have any effect from that. I should be the strong personality in spite of all the issues. Most of the people take themselves that I am a human being. I have to go through these responsibilities and the issues of household life. That enough to take away all their energy. Here, the Upanishad says, in spite of all the experiences happening in the waking state and dream state, you don't depend on any other energy for making your business more wider. You don't depend on any other energy to make your house more peace and quiet. Because if you come to know you are the witness of all the things in the world, that energy itself sufficient to make the house atmosphere calm and quiet. It will bring the serenity, because what you understood is the embodiment of serenity. That consciousness is tranquil, peace, serene in nature. When you come to know I am tranquil, I am serene, I am peace in the almighty thing, that will be extended to your household life, in your character. They may argue with you, but you will not be interested to give an argument with them, because you are the witness of all the events occurring in the dream state. You are the witness of all the things occurring in the dream state, waking state, and you are the witness of the happiness which is occurring in the deep sleep state. That happiness is due to the non-division of subject and object. There is an ignorance which will cover the division. You are not knowing anything while sleeping. That not knowing will bring a non-divisional experiences. You are not knowing your issue of your car, issue of your wife, issue of your husband, issue of your agricultural field, issue of anything. You don't have any idea. So for a length of time, all the issues are suspended. There, you will be completely happy as though. Remember that there is a lesson to be taken, or moral. Where there is no division in the world, a person will be completely free from all kinds of issues. Even that attitude will help you. I am not away from the person who is right in front of me. I am not separate from this dog which I see. I am not separate from the star which I am looking, which I am seeing right now up in the sky. By their essence, from the standpoint of essence of the star and the mind, both are one and the same. So if you can understand this non-divisional essence, that itself will bring the tranquility, serenity, complete peacefulness in one's life. You don't depend upon somebody's puja. You don't depend upon some stuff you got from the temple or a priest. You don't depend upon any other thing secondary. You depend upon yourself. That dependency is not a secondary dependency. That is, you take the full support from your own understanding about oneself. I am the eternal, peaceful Sakshi, witness, who is called Brahman. Nobody can take away that peacefulness from you, because you are not a human being at all. After listening this verse, the witness of everything will not get affected by the experiences occurring in this waking state. And also the state word itself, I mentioned you, it's a temporary thing. Waking state will slowly give up its nature and dream state will come. When something is permanent, it should be available at any point of time. But the waking state is not available at any point of time. When there is a dream state, there is no waking state at all. So the point is, waking state itself is temporary, and I am not behind these temporary things which are occurring in the temporary waking state. Why should I feel about certain things? Why should be pain about certain things occurring in the waking state? Let it happen. These things are there as the prarabdham. Definitely happen to this body, not for you. So the point is, you are the witness of each and every event occurring in the waking state, whether it is globally, whether it is individually, whether it is cosmical way. Anything can happen. You will never die. You will be always eternal. Eternal. Nothing will affect you. If you come to know first, make to understand the mind. Intellectual understanding is very easy when I teach you. But emotional understanding, that means you make understand the mind which is a child, that we call emotional maturity. You react from the knowledge what you got from your traditional teacher about one's own nature. So, Sakshi, witness of everything, will never get affected by the events occurring around the witness. Just like a street light in the street, showering light around the things. There is a person who is stealing the money from another person. There are people who are talking. There are people who are selling fruits. Lot of things are happening in a street. Everything happen under this street light. Street light will not get affected by any events occurring in this street. Like that, the consciousness which is called the Sakshi, the witness, give all kinds of energy for the body, for the mind and everything. But the mind will work according to the things what are already existing inside the mind. But it will not affect the consciousness which pumped the energy to the mind. So one should understand properly. Witness is not a teaching Witness is a reality about oneself. If you come to know I am the witness of everything, you will not have pain while somebody is dying because you are the witness. You will not have any kind of emotional imbalance or towards the things happening around you. So may one understand properly what we have studied under the verse 5th in the last class. Today we will study the new verse. Prabhavas sarvaved bhavanam satamiti vinishchayah sarvam janayati pranaha chedom shun purushah pratak. Prabhavas sarvabhavanam satamiti vinishchayah sarvam janayati pranaschedom shun purushah pratak. I mentioned you in the last class. When a group of blinds exploring the shape of an elephant, in which part they touched, according to that, they will make a conclusion that elephant is in the shape of that part. It can be the tail, which is in the form of a broom. It can be a paw. Their ears are very much like a paw, which we use to take away the useless parts from the grain. The trunk is like a pipe. So they will conclude somebody, if they touch the trunk of an elephant, elephant is like a water pipe. Even the tusk, they will conclude in that. So elephant is not in the form of a water pipe or hose, but it has a part much less similar to this water pipe. This is the conclusion. Elephant is not like a broom. The broom, the tail of the elephant is like a broom. This is called partial understanding about a subject. You don't have the complete idea or the entire vision of a thing. You have a partial vision. And from that partial vision, you generate some idea within yourself regarding any matter. This partial vision became the schools of thoughts in that period of Gaudapada Acharya. And there may be a lot of followers. It's very easy to make some followers, If you bluff, make somebody that you are a superhuman somehow, and you will get more followers. Followers won't decide that person is genuine or a person who is a traditional teacher. You will get anybody. It's very easy to make followers. I am not talking about the personalities who have a lot of followers. Very genuine people have a lot of followers. Others are fake identities. Still they have followers. So this partial vision became schools of thoughts. On that period, 9 predominant schools were there who talks about creation, which is a partial vision. And Gaudapada refers them. Gaudapada is referring them in its kārikā. Remember, partial vision is not completely denied, but it has some defects. It's not talking about the full understanding of anything. And a partial vision doesn't have any scope of understanding a thing completely. People may get stuck on that. That's their problem. Few people believe in the religion, the cross and the Jesus are the only refuge for the humanity. People believe in the name of Allah, you will go to heaven if you believe on Him. People believe Lord Krishna will take care of you from your entire issues if you become a believer of Krishna. Some are interested in meditation and silence because they are the followers of Buddha. Some believe non-hurting is the only solution to take care of the entire vision, and we follow Jainism. Like that, lot of human beings pose that they are superpower human. Then they become one of the iconic personality in the world, and they will create a lot of followers. In the time of Gaudapada, 9 schools of thoughts are very famous. And he started to explain one by one, which are partial vision regarding the creation. Before that, one relevant verse, one relevant line he keep before dealing with all schools of thoughts. Prabhavas sarva bhavanam satamiti vinishchaya. To occur an error, there should be a base in front of you, and that base should be evident to you. For an error to occur, this is the rule. There should be a substratum right in front of you, and you are evident of that. For example, you are in a party. Your wife already arrived inside the party. And she told, I am in the red sari with a heavy bangle. And you don't see her. But you can see some red sari behind. Their back is available in front of you, not their face or front. So you go and shake them. Hey, I'm here. Oh, you already reached. Then when they turn, you will see it's not your wife at all. By mistake, you hold her and you will tell, I am here. When did you come? But when they turn, you will see that it's not your wife. An error occurred, but there was something as a base for the error. Without a woman who is wearing a red sari or red cloth, you will not have an error. In our daily life, if you come at midnight and you see in your 3rd floor on the top of the house, somebody is waving hand like this. You are a bit upset. Somebody is already there. Some thief is there. You stop the car and you slowly get inside the house. Still the hands are waving, and the white person who is in the white cloth, that person is waving the hand. Something is going on. Some business is going on. You want to check with your gun or with a stick or etc., etc. You slowly climb up the door in the midnight and tell the wife, somebody is there on the top. And you go on the top. Slowly you walk near to that guy. And when you reach near to that guy only, you will come to know that it's completely an error, because it's a cloth which you wear daily, was been washed by your wife, and she hanged for getting dried. But an error occurred. When an error occurs, there should be some base for the error to occur. Without that cloth, you will not misidentify as a thief in your house. It's very important that there should be a substratum which is perceived by you to happen an error. Without a substratum, there will be no error at all. This substratum should be there and you completely not known, but you have an overall idea there is something in front of you. Then an error will happen. Shankara's famous example is, without a rope, there is no misidentification of a snake. Because somehow you step on the rope and you perceived the rope, and some ideas of the snake is endowed with the rope, so you mistaken that a rope into a snake. This is the idea. So here in the Bhashya, Shankara write a beautiful line. Nahi niraspada rejju sarpa mrigatrishnikadayaha kochit ubalabhyande kenachit. Very beautiful sentence in his commentary. The idea is, what he told, first I will explain you. Nahi niraspada, without a substratum, without a base, without a locus, niraspada. Rejju sarpa, there will be no mistake of snake on the rope. There will be no mistake on the desert as mirage. Because when the sunrise comes into desert, when the sunrise touch the desert, then there will be some affection of water when you look from very far, you know. So mirage water never happened without the base of a desert. Or the snake will not happen. The snake, understanding of the snake, misunderstanding of the snake will not happen without having the base of Rejju, the rope. So once more I will read that sentence, very beautiful. Nahi niraspada, without substratum, Rejju sarpa, bragatrishnigadaya. The misunderstanding of snake in a rope or the mirage in a desert will not be Kwajit upalabhyande, never accomplished, never established by anybody without the base. So,
Swamiji,
one sentence to conclude the idea.
Can you say which page you are taking?
The sentence is written by Adi Shankara in the commentary of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. If you have the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad along with the Shankara's commentary, in the verse number 6, not the verse of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad, kārikā verse number 6, which is connected with the verse number 5 of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. If you look into that, you will find out this sentence. More we can refer after the class, I will help. Okay. So, we can finally conclude without a substratum, there is no superimposition. In order to occur a superimposition, there should be some substratum. Without that substratum, there is no superimposition. Now come to understand this single sentence of this verse number 6. Prabhavaha sarva bhavana. In order to have the origin of any name and form, prabhavaha, origination, birth. Sarva bhavani, any type of name and form. The creation can be safely conclude into name and form. Anything. Creation means names and forms. There is a form and there is a particular name for that. So, names and forms, in order to occur, there should be a substratum in this world. Satam iti vinishchaya. It is accomplished. It is established that without a substratum, there will be no misidentifications like names and forms. For the generation, for the origination of anything in this world, there should be a substratum. So, behind the creation, there should be a substratum. Without a substratum, there is no names and forms. This is what Gaudapada wants to make us understand properly. Prabhavaha sarva bhavana, birth of any name and form can only possible when there is a substratum and which is not seen properly or perceived completely. There is an understanding of something which is evident to you, then you think from your ideas that it is this or that. Like the blind thought that elephant is in the form of a water pipe. So, substratum is not understood properly. Why? In order to understand the substratum, there should be means of knowledge. Upanishads are the only means of knowledge to understand what is the substratum of this entire universe. No other books talks about the substratum of the universe. So what about God and Jesus and Allah and Buddha? They are all human beings who have extra capacity. That's all. Like incarnation. That's all. Incarnation can happen anytime. Anybody who is having certain amount of discipline will become an incarnation. We are not talking about incarnation. Incarnation will come with a particular mission and they finish the mission and they vanish. We are talking about the substratum from which even the incarnation or any species get into act in the creation. The origination can only happen from the from the substratum. So, prabhavaha sarva bhavanam, whatever we perceive or whatever we see as existing, it can only possible, it is sure, it is established when there is a substratum. This is the meaning of the first verse. First line of this sixth verse of kārikā. And sarvam janayati pranaha. What is the substratum now? Those who don't have the complete idea about the subject matter which is talking inside the Upanishad, they have a partial understanding. And we don't deny them. We accept them. Partial understanding is not to be denied or to be given up. Give up. We accept them. That partial understanding is a part of the entire vision. But if you conclude this understanding is enough to understand the substratum, that is a mistake. Because something which is all pervasive can be in different forms in the world. When the gold is all pervasive in the form of bangles, in the form of garland, mala, in the form of anklets, in the form of rings, in the form of bracelet, everything. Thus the gold is all pervasive. If somebody made a statement, gold is in the form of anklet, partially it is true because gold is appearing in the form of anklet. But when we come to the ultimate standpoint, gold is formless. That's why it is appearing in different names and forms. Suppose the gold is only appearing in the form of anklet, how can you make a chain from the gold? Because any form cannot be transferred or transformed into chain, because it always appears in the form of an anklet. So if somebody makes a statement like this, gold is in the form of anklet, then it will be partially true, but not a complete understanding. In Pujya Dayananda Swamiji's words, a pending understanding. It should be extended more. So we don't deny them, all these 9 different types of schools of thoughts. Somebody is saying here in the second verse, one group, Sarvam Janayati Pranaha. Pranaha means vital force. Vital force is the main factor of the sentience of a body. We become sentient due to the presence of the vital force which goes inside and outside. Without that, we don't become sentient. So, one group of people who believe prana is the base of entire creation. Sarvam janayati. Everything originates. Everything is being created by pranaha. One school of thought, and the group, some followers are. And from Shruti text, our Upanishad itself makes some statements regarding prana. For example, Kaushidagi Upanishad. There is an Upanishad called Kaushidagi Upanishad. That Upanishad says that Pranan is Brahman. The Pranaha, the word means Brahman. So, from the standpoint of Upanishad itself, the prana is the substratum of entire creation. Then they made this statement because of the prana only, everything gets sentient. Everything comes into existence. Without prana, nothing can be existing. So, pranaha is the essential substratum to be understood as the creation, all names and forms in the creation. And I will read the Kaushidagi Upanishad statement, which are all apart from our teaching. For the time being, I just want to make you, there are something which talks about pranaha is equal to Brahman in Upanishad itself. Atha kalu pranaha eva prajñātmā idam shariram parigrihya utpadayati sa eshaha pranaha eva prajñātmānando ajaraha amrita. This is told by one of the Upanishad. There are 108 Upanishads, and one Upanishad is Kaushidagi. And in that Kaushidagi Upanishad, it is told, prana indeed it's Brahman. For us, everything can be accepted. Because we don't say there is only one God. We say there is only God because everything is nothing but this supreme consciousness, the Brahman. For us, it is very easy to accept everything as Lord. Even if you say prana is the creator of the entire universe, it's very easy as a Vedantin who studied under a traditional teacher. Yes, prana is also Brahman. So, from that standpoint, prana is the creator of the entire universe. But the teaching is not complete. The point is, if you say prana is the substratum of entire creation, the teaching is incomplete because prana is also the form which is having the substratum called Brahman. This should be the understanding. Prana itself is a part of creation. Prana is a name and a form in the creation. So it cannot be substratum. But prana is equated in the form of Brahman in Upanishad. So that Brahman is also called pranaha. From that standpoint, of course, prana is the creation, the substratum of entire creation. No problem. But from their school of thought, they say this vital force is the substratum of creation, which is untrue. Vital force itself is created, not the creator. But vital force is also centered on the substratum, which is a superimposition on the substratum. If we understand like that, it's very easy to accommodate their vision also. If you see prana is the only creator of the entire universe, that is a mistake. Because prana is not at all the creator. Prana is something which is a part of creation, which is created. So, illusions are there everywhere. Not knowing the reality from the Upanishad, the people conclude themselves this is the origination of creation. Prana being the main factor of the creation, prana is the creator, which is a partial understanding, which will not be easily, which is not very easy to digest for a Vedantin from their vision. So here, idea should be like that. Prana is also a name and form which is created. Prana is superimposed on a substratum called Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman. So prana is nothing but Brahman. As everything is Brahman, prana is also Brahman. This should be the vision. But this school of thought says that this vital force is the creator of the entire creation, which is untrue, which is a partial vision. Now, some says that Chedom Shun Purusha Pratak. There is a mantra, Vedic mantra, which is available in Yajurveda and also in other three Vedas also. We call it Purusha Suktam, which is having a profound meaning that entire names and forms are centered on one consciousness. And this consciousness is called as Purusha. And this mantra goes like this. Purusha evedagam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam utamrtatvaseshanah yatannena tirohati etavanasya mahima adojaya purushah vado osya vishva bhutani, and goes on and on. We call it Purusha Suktam. From this Purusha Suktam, few people got the idea that there is a Purusha who is the creator of the entire creation. And this Purusha is just like a main fire. And from this main fire, different sparks and sprinklings are coming out, like the creation goes. Without that Purusha, there will be no sparks at all. And they support this sentence through our Upanishad statements. Yada Vispulingat, there is a verse from the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. So, they say that Purusha is the cause for the sentience of the different types of jivas. Jivas are born out of Purusha. Purusha is as though a king in the country or an extra human being in the creation. And this Purusha has created different living beings in this world. And here in the Bhashya, it says that like the sunrise comes from the sun, that like that. Purushasya cheto rupaha jalarka samaha. Purushasya cheto rupaha. This Purusha will be compared to the sun appearing inside the water. Thus, lot of suns are there when you have different waters. You kept one red bucket with a lot of water. You kept a blue bucket with a lot of water. You kept a green bucket with a lot of water. All the water will have different reflection. You have three suns. These three suns are individuals, Jiva. From one sun, we have three reflections. These reflections are the result of one sun. Similarly, Purushasya Cheto Rupaha Jalarka Samaha. How Chedom Shun Iva Revi Chidatmakasya Revehe Chidatmakasya. The sun which are having the rays like that reflection will become different names and forms. So, this school of thought maintain this type of a thinking. They think that there is a Purusha who is extra human power, who is having extra human power, who is almighty, who is all-knowing. He created different individuals and different in this creation. So the first school of thought thinks that prana is the substratum of creation. And these people think that Purusha is the substratum of creation. Nothing wrong if you come to know the entire vision that Purusha and Prana are also superimposition on the Satyam Jnanam Anantam formless Brahman who is the witness of entire creation. But they think that this Purusha is real, who is the substratum of entire creation. So this is also a partial vision, and they have followers, Purusha Chintakaha. They may be Karmakandis who study the first portion of Vedas properly, and they maintain, they got this verse from that Vedas first part, and they maintain this vision. This is the Purusha Chintakaha. Those who maintain the thought that everything happened from the Purusha, Pratak, separately. The one Purusha who appears and whose reflection is there in different individuals in the creation. And there is another explanation in commentary that the prana will represent the insentient thing of the creation. And the Purusha will represent the sentient things in the creation. We can accept both in this way also. Everything is created by the prana, and in that all the sentient things are being created by the Purusha. So either we have to take both the creators, or we can take prana as the main creator and the Purusha as the secondary creator. Like the pot, having the main creator, the pot maker, and the secondary thing for the pot is mud, clay. There are some other causes also. His stick, even his donkey is a part of carrying the mud from one place to another place. We can upload the causal form to donkey also. So here, this type of beliefs were there. Entire creation is manifested from the prana, and the sentient things are manifested from the Purusha's reflections. Anyway, we can conclude safely all our partial vision, nothing to do with that. And in this time, we need to know one thing also to keep in the mind. We are not concerned about who created the creation. We are not concerned about how much length, what was the time of creation. We are not concerned about anything. We are concerned about the human goal, what is called moksha, freedom from everything. How can we get the freedom from everything? By knowing I am akarta abhokta. Nothing to do in this world as responsibilities. Nothing to do as my duties, because I am the witness of this human body and this I consciousness which is appearing the human body. Once you come to know, you are free from all kinds of responsibilities and bondages which are tied up with the human body. So, we are behind the freedom from all kinds of issues, which is called Purushartha. And we are already free. We have to know that I am already free in the form of witness. And we are interested on that. Then why we are studying the Srishti? When you come to know the mistakes are like these, you can easily conclude this is the right track. Then there will be no tendency to believe on different things. People will teach you prana karmam. People will teach you mantras. People will teach you this and that, and you will be on that track. And you will believe this partial understanding is the ultimate way to achieve the goal. To take away all these types of misconclusions, Gaudapada Acharya is presenting 9 types of school of philosophies. And one is prana and other one is purusha. We studied now. Now we'll go to the next mantra. We'll have a short understanding and we will detailed explanation we will see in the next class. What is the next mantra? It is told like this. Vibhudim prasavam tvanye manyande srishti chintakaha. Swapnamaya sarupeti srishtihi anyer vikalpita. Verse number 7 of kārikā, in the first chapter. Once more I will read. Vibhutim prasavam tvanye manyande srishti chintakaha. Swapnamaya sarupeti srishtihi anyer vikalpita. Vibhuti, extra glorified nature, superhuman power, anything we can say for Vibhuti. When you have a lot of extra faculties, even among the human being, if you go to the YouTube, you will see one human being who having electricity in his body. If he touch the bulb will light up like an electric eel. I am familiar with one boy near to me. If you ask any kind of multiplication, he will answer properly. I asked him, 8218 into 8118. He will say immediately within 10 seconds. The calculation is amazing. You give 4 digit multiplied with another 4 digit. He won't take much time. He will give the answer immediately. These are all carried from the previous births. Faculties, different types of faculties are there. Only Vedantin should have one particular standpoint. Don't get shaken by all these capacities and faculties in this world. They are not our prime goal to become like them. And you don't compel your students or your children also become like that. He's a stupid guy, even though he can calculate all this understanding. Only that faculty. He don't know how to behave with people. He may not know. So don't keep any role model because somebody is studying some academic with a lot of academical qualification. That's not the way. You find out the features of your child. She may be a beautiful person who to draw anything. She may be stitching properly. She may be writing properly without seeing their glories. We just condemn because they don't have what I want. And you compare with others. Most of the parents do this mistake, These are all not glories of people. I know one fellow who write properly. Like if he write in any paper, it's just like printed way, whether it is in English or any other language. He write very properly just though it was printed. And if you see one complete page, it's very beautiful, just like printed from a computer. But he is just having a bicycle and going to write some documents under somebody and earning some few penny. If you keep him as a role model, what will be the problem? Can you imagine? He have a good handwriting, but he don't have the writing of Lord in his head to become a good person or rich person, Don't compare anybody because of their glory or teaching or something. Everybody is unique. With a lot of genius and care, everybody is molded by the Lord. So one should come to know what are the features I am having. So here, briefly, I will explain and will conclude. Few people say that superhuman power, vibhuti, is the main substratum locus of creation. One who is endowed with the power, or one who is the power itself, is the base of the entire creation. Srishti Chintakaha. This is the third school of thoughts regarding the Srishti. And the other person says that Swapnamaya Sarupa. A group of people from Buddhist, they say this, Swapnamaya Sarupaha. Like the dream and like the Maya, the illusion, the power of illusion. Like that, Srishti seems to be existing, but it really, in speaking, there is no existence for the creation. Everything is from the empty. Everything will go to the empty. So nothing is there. It's all just like seeing the dream. And according to the illusion created by the magician, like that, Srishti appears to be Srishti appears to be existing, but there is no Srishti at all. So this type of people also were there in the time of Gaudapada. Who are they? More elaboration we will see in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayandam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanibhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Pavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Choparhitaha Brahmana Santu Nirpayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate പൂർണ്ണസ്യ പൂർണ്ണമാദായ പൂർണ്ണമേവാവശിഷ്യത്തെ. ഓം ശാന്തി ശാന്തി ശാന്തി. ഹരി ഓം. ശ്രീ ഗുരുഭ്യോ നമഃ. ഹരി ഓം.